I am infrared gun out today, and I want to show you guys, I made a giant mistake building my garage, and now I actually shake my head. I don't know what I was thinking. Let me show you what I mean. Now we'll look at this quick, but if you look at the gun, all that bright yellow is showing a ton of heat loss, and all the blue and purple is showing how there's no heat loss from the garage. I'm going to show you a comparison so you don't make the same mistake that I did. It's a brisk one, my friends. This is Canada for you. 6 months out of the year, it's cold. So this is the front of the garage. We're just going to show you quick before I freeze my butt off here. That slab is minus 15 degrees. The door is minus 20. Now let's point it at the stucco. So minus 25 is what it is outside. That's the ambient temperature. Same with this brick is minus 28. So when we go back to the slab and it's minus 12, that's because the heat from the garage is warming it up and it's literally bleeding off the heat constantly. So let's go inside before we freeze and I'll show you a little more. I did build the garage in the winter, which is no excuse. I had to kind of tarp this in and prep the slab. So I went over top of the old garage slab. I did the thickened edge. I did 15M bar and all that. And I knew how I was going to build the structure. I was doing 2x6 walls. I did the 2-inch EFIS stucco on the outside. I've made videos about that. And then standard truss roof, R50 attic, you know, just standard vapor barrier on the ceiling and all that. But like this garage is extremely well built. It's actually, I cannot close that man door. No matter how hard I swing it, it doesn't close because it's so airtight that it just goes poof and it pulls the overhead door in. And then when the overhead door is actually open, that door just closes like nothing. So it's well built, but I don't know what I was thinking and why I didn't insulate under the slab and the sides. Now that's just hindsight. Now what's perfect is we did a structural slab for my buddy Jordan and I did a video on it because the engineer had showed on the plans, okay, we have the slab, but you need to put sheet foam on the outside of it. But his yard was sloped and all that. And we're thinking, well, shoot, like you can't just slap foam on a slab and then connect parging. You can't finish it. No yard is perfectly level that you could backfill up and hide the foam and just have your siding on a perfect level plane. So what we decided to do is we did the one side of an ICF block. We incorporated that into the slab. And then at Jordan's place, you know, it's thickened at the edges and then it rises up in the middle and you got a 5-inch slab in the middle. And all of that is insulated. It's insulated all the way to the edges. It's up on the sides with that ICF. Now you can attach your siding or you can stucco it or parge it, whatever you want. And then from the outside, we also did a 2-foot sheet of foam around the perimeter as well. So I'm going to show you guys the data and the differences between this garage and Jordan's garage. Now, when we get to Jordan's, we're actually just going to do a comparison side by side. Now, I took infrared images actually a year ago, but I did it on the same day and it was the same exterior temperature. So when you're looking at these stats, you can actually, you know that it's realistic information. It's the same day, same exterior temperature, okay? So I'll show you a couple things on this wall. Now right now I'm just gonna point up kind of in the middle here and I'll take some shots. You know, it's in that 15 degrees, 15.2, 15.3. So that's the ambient temperature of the room. That actually matches my thermostat and I took a shot of that as well. So what I want to show you is, okay, that's the temperature, that's the room temperature. Now let's take a shot at the floor, kind of, I'll call it an interior shot, 11.7 on the slab. Now as I move closer, then it starts dropping the temperature. And if you look, yellow is where it's warm, where it's more room temperature. And near the edge down in the corner, it's like that really dark, almost black and purple. That's cold. It's super cold. And as I move my gun closer to that very edge, I'm only at 6 degrees at the edge. And that's because the slab isn't insulated and it's losing heat out of the bottom of the wall. And I don't have my EFA stucco there either. It's a little warmer at the top, 16.8. But over here, there's definitely, it's just worse. Like look by this overhead door, right along the edge. It's actually minus 3.3. Like it's brutal. I come in a little bit, it's 4 degrees. And then it's 7 as we move in. But, so if it's 15 degrees in here, well, if it's minus there, it's losing all this heat. So I think you guys get it. You understand why. So I'm going to show you what Jordan's place, how it compares to mine. And let's just run that over right now. We made it to Jordan's place. We have some infrared shots. Now let's just compare infrared to infrared, my house to Jordan's, or my garage actually. Now remember, these are taken on the same day, same exterior temperature, and actually both of our thermostats were shot or set to the same degrees as well. So everything's very comparable, apples to apples. So when you're looking through the infrareds, all my garage images are on the left and Jordan's are on the right, as you can see there. When we're on the exterior, when we take a shot at the slab, my garage is minus 6.4 degrees and Jordan's is minus 19.4. So when you're looking at those exteriors, you have to remember that if it's closer to the exterior temperature of outside, that's less heat loss because Jordan doesn't have that heat from his garage wicking through and warming the slab as it's coming through. So his is more insulated. Now the slab at the overhead door, Jordan's is still insulated, substantially better than mine, and you can see the proof here. So my slab is minus 7 at the overhead door, and his is minus 11.1. And then we'll just take a quick shot at the exterior siding. Mine is minus 16, and his is minus 18. So those are fairly comparable. There's nothing major to kind of view there. So now that we're on the interior side of the garages, let's take a look. So my interior slab, kind of more in the center, I'm 7.2 degrees on the floor. And that's because the frost is coming in from underneath and my floor is always cold. Now Jordan's, because his is insulated, his interior slab is 12.6 degrees. So it's much closer to the interior temperature of the garage. So he's not losing heat out of his floor or his slab. Now when we get closer to the edge of the slab, this is where it's kind of the biggest deal is, well, I have two scenarios for mine. I have a one shot that's 1.1 degrees right near the bottom of the exterior wall, and another shot that's minus 0.1. So it's essentially 0 degrees. Jordan's place is 6.9 degrees. So his slab is much more insulated and he's not bleeding off that heat continuously all the time. Someone much more talented than myself created this chart, and it just shows the comparables between our garages. Now, like I said, you just have to remember that when we're talking exterior temperature, whatever the temperature is closer to the exterior, that's a better result. And then when you're jumping on the interior side, so the bottom half of this graph, again, whatever temperature is closer to the interior of the garage is better. So it's less heat loss. So that's the chart that we've made there. You can see that Kody's in the blue, Jordan's in the green. All right, guys, so don't pull a Kody. Make sure you insulate your garage slab. And now you know why it's so important. We have a video on how to do that. Now, we actually, at Jordan's place, we incorporated that ICF block into the perimeter. And we'll show you how this video shows you. It's right here, does the step-by-step for you. I'm also going to produce some videos on different types of slab on grade. So these garages today are kind of a floating engineered slab, whereas the other style of slab on grade is actually a 4-foot frost wall and the slab comes into that. And so that's even more efficient than even Jordan's place. So we'll have videos on that as well, showing the different temperatures. And I'm also going to have pros and cons on those types of systems as well. So anyway, there's just tons of info coming out on the channel. Make sure to stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. The more video of Kody, the better. That's bad. That's bad. That man.
That's very bad.
So we're at Jordan's place right now. Now okay, slow down. All right.